let's talk about all these books. So, this is my 2021 TBR. This is not everything that I want to read this year, but it is everything like that I have a physical copy of that I want to read this year. So let's get started. So I don't think I discussed this in my resolutions video, but I do want to read a classic every month this year, and I also want to read from an author of color every month this year. So in addition to these books, those goals are also like looming in my mind. But I have a lot of books here, so let's get started talking about them. I want to finally read The Goldfinch by Donna Tartt. Y'all, this has been on my to-be read list for so long. I was supposed to do a reading vlog of this Vlogmas, and I just didn't do it. It's so chunky, and the font is so small that it just is very intimidating. But now that I've graduated, this kind of feels like an easy book to carry around with me. So maybe this will get done somehow. I'm hoping that I'm going to get a lot of poetry read this year, specifically these 3 books. So this is the first poetry collection by Savannah Brown called Graffiti. She's one of my favorite poets. If I remember, I'll leave a link to her channel in the description. Her writing and her poetry is what made me want to write poetry. And this came out ages ago, so I'm finally just now getting around to reading it. So late in the game, in fact, that this is her second poetry collection, Sweet Dark, and this just came out last year. I think Graffiti is a 2016 thing. 2017. This one's from 2017. So I'm gonna get those finally done this year. I have been listening to her slam poetry, like her read it out loud, for years. So to finally get like physical forms of these, it's just so exciting. Also, in terms of poetry, I want to read Crush by Richard Sykin. Richard Sykin is like the Tumblr poet. I've exposed myself, but I'm so just thrilled about finally getting to read some of his work. In terms of classics, let's see what I have like on hand. I do have all the classics that I want to read planned out, but I think I'll only show you the ones that I have physical copies of, just to make it a little snappier for you. So I want to read The Odyssey by Homer. These are the annotations from when I was literally 13, so I'm hoping they'll be useful to me. Oh, I just, big tab that says Sexism, classic 13-year-old Catherine. So I'm excited to read this again. I, in theory, read it 2 semesters ago with my fanfic class, but I'll be totally honest with you, it was the COVID semester and I didn't read it. I didn't do it. So I'd like to actually reread this and like get a fuller comprehension, you know? I also want to reread The Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger and The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton. This was my favorite book when I was 12. I love the movie, this TV series, this book, and you know, just makes me, it's such a good book about growing up. But in terms of The Catcher in the Rye, immediately thereafter, I want to reread again At Home in the World by Joyce Maynard. This is the woman that J.D. Salinger poached at like 18 years old, fresh from Yale or Harvard. I think it's Harvard. Yale. Poached 18 years old from Yale, her first year of college, so she left and she lived for a brief time with him, and then he like kicked her out in the street, and the psychological like trauma and damage of being groomed by this immensely powerful and like important man is described in a really beautiful way in this book. I've been shouting about this on my channel since the channel was like born. Like I think it's in my 2017 top 10 books. And if you have not heard of Joyce Maynard, I highly recommend that you give her memoir a shot. It really is beautiful. Trigger warning for eating disorders and depression and suicidal thoughts. Some more academic buddies. We got, and again, these are not everything I want to read, but I feel like I really want to like expand my mind, and that's why I want to finally get through Disease, Desire in the Body and Victorian Women's Popular Novels, which sounds fascinating, and Odd Girls and Twilight Lovers, A History of Lesbian Life in the 20th Century America. This has been on my TBR for, again, a long time. You saw these buddies. This is the Infernal Devices series by Cassandra Clare. I had videos about these up on my channel, but I deleted them. a lot of my older videos I've deleted or privated because, you know, I've been making these videos since I was like 17, which means there's a lot of cringe. So I'm gonna be rereading these and then doing a video review for all of them, hopefully. I want to finally read The Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Society by Mary Ann Schaffer. My friend gave me this like 2 years ago and I still haven't gotten around to it, and I want to watch the movie so bad, but I'm one of those annoying people who won't watch the movie unless they've already read the book, so I'm really limiting myself here. So this is my big number one goal. I'd like to have this done by March, hopefully. I'm still holding this book up. I feel like every time I've done a TBR video on this channel, I've held up The Testaments by Margaret Atwood, and here we are again, 2021, still haven't even cracked the spine. This year has to be the year. I'd like this also to be in my brain by March. Also, can we talk about like how prolific a writer Margaret Atwood is? Yeah, look at that. Those are all of her works. Look at that. Isn't that crazy? And finally, in terms of physical TBR, The Stand by Stephen King. I read this in 2018 for the first time, and it was an interesting read when we weren't living through a pandemic, but now that we are living through a pandemic, still, it feels like, you know, the right time to do a little revisitation of it. So, Stephen King's apocalyptic vision of a world blasted by plague, entangled in an elemental struggle between good and evil, remains as riveting and eerily plausible as when it was first published. You know, as I'm filming this January 6th, you know, yeah, that's exactly what it feels like. The world being blasted by plague, entangled in an elemental struggle between good and evil, feels like kind of the tagline of the last fair bit of time for everyone. So, this is a chonky buddy, so it'll take me a good long while. She's real long. More than 1,100 pages in this sucker, so it will take me a good long while. I remember, God, the last time I read this was in high school, and I remember lugging this around. Oh my God. Oh, the House is returning to the Capitol tonight to resume Electoral College count. Okay, that's good. That means they must have cleared it, so. Yeah, just another day in the apocalypse, I guess. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're staying safe. I hope that your new year has gotten off to a good start. I hope you and your family are healthy and happy, and that, you know, that you're finding your goals and your happiness and you're reaching it, because that's all we can really ask right now. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you very soon. Bye.